stages?
She didn't talk about the sister wives at all. I don't know why I used the sister wives, because that show, I guess.
Okay.
But the other wives, she didn't. She talked about them existing, but she didn't say good or bad things about them.
So when she met with you, she expressed complete indifference about all the other people in the group and her lifestyle.
Yeah, she just described it. She didn't say whether she had thoughts or feelings about it.
Okay. And are you aware that she told Dr. Ballard, who evaluated her, that she initially didn't mind having multiple women and that it made sense to her, but the reality of it was very toxic and stressful and very hard for all of them to get along?
I don't have a specific memory about that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. And are you aware that she reported to Dr. Ballard that there were frequent arguments, sharing an RV with Mr. Joyce and the other wife, and then a third woman joined, which added to the conflict?
I don't have any recollection
Okay.
of that.
That would be inconsistent with what she told you?
Not particularly, because I didn't ask her.
Okay. So you did not inquire about sort of the dynamics of the group on December the 8th of 2020?
I talked about what she was experiencing and feeling. I didn't ask her about other people.
Okay. So you didn't get information about Jason Spillers or Jessica Kafijian?
I knew that they were there.
Okay. But in terms of her thoughts about that relationship and how that related to her decisions to commit the act, you didn't get into that at all?
Those were not the basis for what she told me was why she behaved the way she behaved.
Okay. But one of the things that you were capable of reviewing in this case and had was her handwritten notes from December the 9th of 2020, the day after she killed Hannah, right?
I did have those.
Okay.
Or at least I had some. I don't know if I had the totality.
All right. So in terms of her very first statements about why she killed Hannah, are you aware that she said, "I was going insane and no longer wanted to be with his friends, but kept coming back for him"?
I don't have a specific memory of that, but I may have had that piece of information.
Okay. Are you aware that in her first statements about why she killed Hannah, she said, "I only wanted my baby and husband, but he refused"?
I don't remember that.
Okay. You'd agree that her own statements the day after she killed Hannah about what motivated her act would be highly relevant to her state of mind the day before?
It'd be relevant, not necessarily dispositive, since she was medicated and in trauma,
Okay.
but it would certainly be relevant.
All right. So your evaluation of her was taking place in 2022, and these statements she was making to law enforcement was the day after. Can we agree on
So
that?
it would definitely improve her memory.
Okay.
For the record, she made those statements at the hospital, not too long.
I'm sorry. She made them to law enforcement at the hospital. And did you, in reviewing and reaching your conclusions about this case, review all of these handwritten notes that she
I
provided
reviewed
to
the
law
ones that
enforcement?
I had.
Okay. Can I approach and show you and see if you recognize them?
Sure. I don't recall this one.
Okay. And in your report, you indicate that one of the things you received were the Kennestone Hospital handwritten notes of Chloe Driver, correct?
Yeah, they actually said Kennestone Hospital on the top, and that one didn't, so I'm not sure. If I can look at my notes, I might have a copy of the ones that I actually
Okay.
reviewed, if that's okay.
I can approach. Is this what you're referring to?
I think the other records that Ms. Driver had.
Those are the ones that I had.
Cruise's notes, not the Kennestone Hospital.
These are the ones that you
Those
have?
are the ones that I have.
All right. So you would have known in your evaluation of her that Ms. Driver told the psychiatrist at Kennestone Hospital, "I was stating for months I couldn't handle my husband's lifestyle anymore."
I would have had it. I don't specifically remember everything that she wrote. There's a lot of information in this
Okay.
case, I'm afraid.
And you would have known that she wrote to the psychiatrist for the first 2 years, not so much because it was just us traveling, but then once he got people listening to him more, I started feeling scared and was begging for attention for us to be with the baby.
I don't remember that one either.
Okay. So these statements about her begging for attention, her not liking his lifestyle, these statements that she made close in time to the crime, you did not factor those into your determination about what her...
There were certain ones that I remember reviewing, saying that she felt Can I reflect, I can't remember whether you, I don't think I got an answer on whether I could review the notes that I had to reflect
Sure,
my
of course.
recollection.
You can't read them, but you can refresh your recollection of them.
Let me just see if I have them here.
You can read them, you can't read them.
Can't read them aloud. I hear ya. That's the one thing. Okay, yes, I did review that.
You did review what?
The document you just read.
Okay. And are you aware that she made statements that, to law enforcement the day after she killed Hannah that stated, "I just wanted to have a normal life with Nimsy"?
I don't have a specific recollection. It wouldn't surprise me, though.
Okay. And would statements about wanting to have a normal life with her baby, wanting to be with just her husband and her baby, and wanting to be away from the cult, would those things be delusional?
No?
Okay. Those would be rational, right?
I believe so, but they could be influenced by her mental health condition, but yes.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about Ms. Driver's statements in evaluations and in the investigation of this case that are relevant to her ability to distinguish between right and wrong. Are you aware that one of her first inquiries while in the hospital was, "How long will my prison sentence be for killing her?"
I have heard that.
Okay. And from a psychological standpoint, let me rephrase my question. Is that consistent with her statements to you about her ability to distinguish between right and wrong?
It certainly reflects an ability to distinguish between what's legal and not legal.
Okay.
There's a little bit more gray area when you talk about right and wrong on a more ethical, moral appropriateness level.
Okay, but we're talking about the law. So would you agree with me that she has expressly made statements that she understood what she was doing to Hannah was wrong?
She did state to me that she knew that it was wrong, but she also stated, "I was at peace because it's how it's supposed to be."
Okay.
So there's, again, both sides of that coin. Yes, she appeared to understand a legal wrongfulness, but there is some question about the moral and appropriateness in her
Okay.
mind.
And you said you had Dr. Ballard's report when you did your evaluation. Are you aware that she told Dr. Ballard, "As soon as it happened, I regretted it. I thought I shouldn't have done this. This was not supposed to happen"?
I said before, I didn't read her report all that carefully. I did review her report, but I don't remember the specific things that she said. But a statement like that after the fact also would not surprise me.
Okay. So you'd agree that the best historian of whether she understood the difference between right and wrong would be her, correct?
Maybe.
Okay. And when she was expressly asked if she thought her behavior was wrong, she said yes.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. And in being evaluated by Dr. Ballard, are you aware that when she was discussing whether she knew her actions were wrong, she also volunteered that she locked the door so that she could also stab herself in the throat and make sure that she died?
Yes, I'm aware that she locked the door to try and kill both herself and her daughter.
Okay. And are you aware that those were statements made by Ms. Driver in response to whether she understood what she was doing was wrong?
Yes,
Okay.
based on her report.
Right. Well, and you're relying heavily on her report for your testimony about her delusions,
And based on
right?
the other psychologist's report.
Understood, not Ms. Driver's report? Okay,
Yes, I did rely a lot on Ms. Driver's report.
okay. And with regard to your inquiry with her about whether she understood what she was doing to her daughter was wrong, isn't it true that she told you that she apologized to her daughter before she repeatedly stabbed her in the neck?
She did say that she apologized.
And I want to talk to you about her statements to you surrounding the actual event. You'd agree with me that the pertinent question for purposes of criminal responsibility are state of mind at the time she committed the act,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So the testimony you just provided to the jury was from childhood to arrest, correct?
Yes, throughout the whole course of her life.
All right, so I want to talk about December the 8th when she's in the room with Hannah,
Okay.
okay? What information did she provide to you about what she was doing in the room with Hannah just prior to her killing her?
She indicated that she had come from the 12 tribes meeting where she had believed that they were talking about death to give her a specific message that now was the time to do this thing that she'd been getting messages about, to kill herself and her daughter. And that they got to the location, and that when she went to go join the other two wives in one room, that Mr. Joyce like snapped at her and said, no, go to, she called it Brett's room. I believe Brett was somebody who previously lived there or previously traveled with him. So she told me that she interpreted that instruction as an instruction that she should kill herself and her daughter. She indicated that she was trying to do some research on her phone about how to get away, how to escape and move money and things like that. And that she went to try and change her daughter's diaper and didn't have a diaper and asked for one to be brought to her, and somebody threw her a dirty shirt instead, and that she interpreted that giving her a dirty shirt instead of a diaper as a statement to her that she's not worthy of this world and she needs to leave this world. She's not even worth a clean shirt, and that therefore she should kill herself. And so that's when she said she did it.
Okay. And she told you, and you put in your report, that she was alone with Hannah in the room and she was doing research on her phone about bankruptcy and how to get away with her daughter.
Yes.
Okay. And you're aware that she had a phone with her in that room based on her statements to you and based on your review of the police report, right?
Right, she said she was doing research on her phone.
Okay. And you also put in your report that she didn't have any access to money. Is that right?
She had told me that part of the deal with joining this was that every woman who joined the group had to turn over all of their funds and put into a joint account to make it more spiritually strong. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but that everybody had to donate all of their money to this account, and that they were not allowed to use it without express permission or access it without express permission.
Okay. And are you aware that she had $1,000 cash in her bag with her phone and the baby's effects?
I did not know that.
Okay. Are you aware that she told Dr. Zom, who evaluated her, that when she left her parents' house, she
Judge,
put...
I'm going to object again. We've already been down this road about what Dr. Zom's report says. She never got it.
I'll rephrase it.
All right.
If she told...
No.
If she told somebody else that she put $1,000 cash in her bag before she went back with Benjamin, would that be inconsistent with her statement to you that she didn't have any access to money?
Not exactly. And let me explain, because I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy. But she had talked about in the time when she went to try and get her mother, of trying to put together some money, trying to access some money, trying to move money towards her parents. So there was some indication already that she was trying to move money around, trying to save up, trying to do something that would help her escape with her daughter. So I didn't specifically ask her whether she had access on that day, so I couldn't say that it was inconsistent with her financial situation on the day.
But she represented to you that she didn't have any access to funds, right?
Overall, over the course of the relationship, that's what she said.
Okay. And you were not aware that she had $1,000 cash in her bag?
I was not.
Debit cards in her name, were you aware of that?
I did not know.
blank
ask.
checks that related to an account that had $65,000 in it?
I have no information about that.
Okay. With regard to the actual event, we talked about her telling you that she knew it was wrong, and her statements to Dr. Ballard that she knew it was wrong and immediately regretted it. And we talked about her statements about locking the door to make sure she could accomplish the acts. I want to talk about the specific trigger that caused her to kill Hannah. Find my report. Did she tell you that Benjamin throwing her the dirty shirt for Hannah was the last thing that triggered her, that nobody wanted her or Hannah to be here?
I believe that was the last trigger, yeah.
Okay, so she needs a clean shirt for the baby. She tells you he throws her a shirt up to the window. He's in the driveway and tosses her a shirt up to the window, and it's dirty.
That's my recollection.
Okay, and she indicated that was the trigger that told her nobody that wanted her or the baby to be there.
That on top of 3 months of seeing signs and symbols of those things, it was sort of the straw that broke the camel's back, I guess.
Okay, but on the 8th, in terms of her state of mind on the 8th when she committed the act, that is what she relayed was her trigger for committing the act, correct?
It's what she relayed was the last thing that happened before she triggered the act. I mean, nobody can be parsed into one moment in time. Everybody's life builds upon itself. So if 3 months of seeing everything as being a sign that she's supposed to kill herself, the fact that it was a shirt that finally tipped it over, the last thing that happened, doesn't mean that's the trigger. It's the last thing, the
Sure.
final thing.
Right, but if this jury is going to evaluate what her state of mind was at the time of the crime, you'd agree that her state of mind closest in time of the crime was what was happening in that room with Hannah on that day.
Not really, because like I said, we're not just a moment in time. My sitting here in this chair, speaking to all of you, and having butterflies in my stomach and, anxiety is not just because I'm sitting here right now. It's because I've sat here before. It's because I've sat there before. It's because I've experienced it before. And all those experiences lead up to how we interpret events. And unfortunately, in this driver's case, all of those experiences were, you shouldn't be here, you're bad, you're going to be punished, the world is going to end, and you and your daughter are sinful and you need to not be here anymore. And every single new thing is not a separate thing, it's an additional thing. It's adding a weight on top of a weight, on top of a weight, on top of a weight, until the bench finally crashes.
How much information did she give you about exactly how she killed Hannah? Was her memory intact? Did she have any problems giving you the play-by-play?
She basically said it was fuzzy. She remembered that she had done it. She remembered that she had harmed herself and harmed her baby, but that was, I didn't get first I stabbed her and then I stabbed her there and then we didn't do that.
Did you ask her?
I asked her what happened and she told me what she could remember as far as I could tell, but I did not try and get a blow by blow because that's not necessarily relevant to my question.
Her memory of the event is not relevant to her mental state at the time